Drag racing fan between the slicks is live, and I happen to be in Lafayette, Indiana, up here at McKinney Corp. They are bringing you the show this evening, and McKinney Corp, I want to let you know they do some trick stuff up there. It is well beyond the trick stuff of Top Fuel dragsters and Top Fuel funny cars and alcohol funny cars and many other areas of drag racing, such as button latches and door slammers and beyond. But every time I go into the shop, I look at the machine row there at McKinney Corp, and guess what? There is always something being done that is for Caterpillar or Subaru or some other industrial application that race shop is involved in and is getting done. So McKinney Corp bringing the show to you tonight. If you need your race car built, fixed, whether that's a Top Fuel dragster or any other application in the motorsports world or far as industry as well, you need to take a look at McKinney Corp and how they can assist you. They build winners and they craft solutions. Tonight on the show, Mr. Leslie Horne. We're going to have him, the chick magnet himself, the now new owner and promoter of the Southeast Gassers Association. We'll have him in just a few moments here on Between the Slicks. He's certainly no stranger to the show. We've had him several times for talks on previous wins and his previous championships as well. So looking forward to talking to Leslie in particular this episode on the why, the where, the how, and to answer your questions and to ease your thoughts of the future and set records straight, whatever it might be for tonight. Now, we do have drag racing news later on, but I do want to make mention before we do get to Leslie, take a break and get him on, that we do want to acknowledge Don Schumacher passed. Don Schumacher passed, and he certainly made a huge impact in the world of drag racing. So, to him, his family, condolences, and you're looking at an individual that was a true pioneer of the sport, and a pioneer not just in the days of the early times of drag racing, but in the modern day as well, and really set and established, especially at the highest levels of the NHRA, how things are done. And want to recognize Don Schumacher passed. Also in drag racing news, and another pioneer passing, Paula Murphy. She passed as well. Miss STP, the first woman to be licensed to drive a funny car, she also passed. So we're losing our pioneers, and we're losing those that showed what drag racing can be and established it and set it up. They are certainly in their later years, and we are losing them. And I think that's important in the sense of why we even have a Southeast Gassers Association type of style in racing with Leslie and the other competitors out there, so that we have that drag racing reenactment. We can kind of see what it was like in those days and that time. But to Don Schumacher's family, to Paula Murphy's family, and to everyone that was close and associated, our condolences. Now, let me go to the comment section really quickly. Thank you all for chiming in. We're going to get to Leslie very quickly. Now, with Leslie, we've been having some technical issues already before the start of the show, and going to bring him on and see what is happening. Maybe when we bring him on, he will be able to stay on. If Leslie drops out, what has been happening is he pops right back in almost instantaneously. So bear with us. Never had that issue before with StreamYard, and we'll see how it goes. in just a few moments. This word from McKinney Corp right before bringing on Mr. Leslie Horne, the new owner and promoter of the Southeast Gassers Association.
At McKinney Corp, we do far more than just fuel funny cars and top fuel dragsters in the world of drag racing. For example, Jerry Bickle race cars, we provide them with the tanks on those race cars, and with this beautiful Larry's Jeffers race car machine, we in fact manufacture at McKinney Corp the button latch on the door car, and you can find many door cars with that latch. It's a private label that we create for Larry's and others, but you have McKinney Corp producing parts and pieces from tanks to button latches for the door car scene. Let's check out some more McKinney Corp assets and products here at PRI. Ron Capps debuted this beautiful funny car at the U.S. Nationals in 2023, bringing the old school with the new school Dom the Snake Prudhomme tribute car, and he was able to go on and win the U.S. Nationals in 2023 with this great throwback scheme. But McKinney Corp, though did not build this chassis in particular, did build the fuel tanks that Ron Capps runs in his funny car. One of the best fuel tanks in the industry, and beyond in the fuel ranks, you will find our fuel tanks in many other rides, such as even Antron Brown's top fueler. We're not done with what McKinney Corp does in drag racing. Let's continue at PRI. It's always cool to see Dale Worsham hit the track, and he hit the track at In-N-Out Burger Pomona Drag Strip in this beautiful CP Carrillo funny car. This very body was mounted at McKinney Corp headquarters in Lafayette, Indiana. In fact, we have a dedicated jig at our facility to mounting funny car bodies. So if it's a new body, old body, we can help you in mounting your funny car body to get funny car racing. Beyond Dale Worsham and Alexis Joria, Tim Wilkerson, Chad Green, we build their chassis, we mount their bodies, we assist them in their funny car operations, and beyond, even into the alcohol ranks. As we like to say at McKinney Corp, they drive the drags. If you need anything for your drag racing operation and beyond, contact McKinney Corp.
And now, live, Leslie Horne. We'll see how long we've got you. You've been popping in and out the whole time back there in the green room. Leslie, for right now, it's good to have you. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, it's got to be on your side because there's no way it's on my side. I mean, as technically savvy as I am. So, it's got to be your stuff on your side, Lee. That's all there is to it.
Right. Only 600 plus successfully done shows so far.
Yeah. Well,
right.
I've got in 2 or 3, so I think it's definitely on your side. I don't think it's on my side. I mean,
well, Leslie, since you handle tech so well, tell us, how are you going to be able to handle the Southeast Gassers Association so well?
Woo, that's a big question. I don't know.
It is.
I'll tell you. It's been exciting so far. Quayne, I understand what Quayne talks about a lot of times now. Me and Quayne still talk a good bit, but the people that's in place that Quayne already had in place, all of them stay in. Everybody's there. I'm not expecting a whole lot of hiccups. I know that the tech department had last year, there was a few things that we probably could have done a little different. So we're going to look at doing a little bit better on the tech stuff than we have in the past. And we're going to probably doing some more teardowns and some more P&Gs and stuff like that. So anyway, kind of looking forward to getting it started. There is some new super stock rules come out day before yesterday. I think they're out on the members only page. Rocky and Randy worked hard. We've actually got a whole committee of seven of us that worked on that. So it's not just one person working on these rules now.
Well, that's good to hear. Good to hear. And progress already being made. I know I reached out to you to have you on the show last Thursday around this time or in the middle of the day, and you were like, hey, already got meetings. We're already shaking and moving and getting ready for 2024. So definitely already taking the reins of this thing and moving it forward. Before we continue to look forward of 2024 and Southeast Gassers Association, that's what we've been talking about. I'm surprised we got through as far as we did. We'll keep working through it. But Leslie, bring everyone up to speed on who you are and what you have done in the Southeast Gassers Association already from, if I remember correctly, SEGA, already competing in A-Gas, multi-time champion and multi-time event winner as well.
Well, I started in 18. Well, let's go all the way to 17. In 17, me and my son went to a race at Shadyside, saw the Hoopty Wagon, saw the Southern Flyer, Gabe, and I just thought it was cool. And I've known Quayne my whole life, ever since I was born. I grew up in Green Creek, until I was 11 years old. So his family, my family, been around each other early on. And I just decided that in 18, well, my son, he had a good time when we went, so we decided in 18 that we was going to buy a car. We ended up buying a car from one of the fellow gassers who was starting one, and we ended up buying it, and it was the wagon, the 62 Chevy 2 wagon called the Stud Muffin. First race I went to was Myrtle Beach. I'll never forget it. It was hot, as hot could be. Went down there. The car was, I think, like 400 or 500 pounds heavy. And we started tearing parts off of it right there in the thing. When we took the window regulators out, we took the back seat out, we took all kinds of stuff out of it. And I'll never forget, I finally went a 699, and you'd have thought I'd have went, I don't know, fast. I was so excited to finally get out of the sevens into the sixes. And then that was in 18. Messed around and messed the engine up. A couple of races later, I think practice, I messed it up, and I carried it to Gene's, and then whole nother story come out of it after that. It was an old engine. When I was originally started, I had a one carburetor, and talked to Gene and wanted him to help me with the engine.
And that right there is the issue that we've been having. We'll have him right back.
Yeah, I think I'm back. Am I back? Hey, guys.
You're back.
Hey. So anyway, carried it to Gene's. We decided that was going to be 2 4s. Come back out, and the little engine was really, really strong to be an old 283. So we set many records there, and 19 before we really changed the. And
that was a briefer stint. Hopefully, we'll have a longer stint, as he's back already.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is something. Can you hear me now? I'm
I
back
can hear
again.
you. You're good, man.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know.
If you're out there messaging, Leslie, stop.
Yeah, no, nobody's messaging me. I've tried to get everything turned off, but anyway, 19 was a really good year. We was able to win the championship. Was able to move the record several times. I think we moved it about I don't know, from a 680 to like a 630 or something that year. But so then in 20, I ended up buying the Pale Riders. Most people know, and started racing in A-Gas in 2020, and that was an eye-opening experience for me. I went the whole 2020 season and didn't win nothing. It was a real learning experience to get down the track with the 55. So then ended up, I think in 21, I come in second behind Gabe.
He'll be back, folks. I'm sorry. I have never encountered this issue, and he's
yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. And then in 2022, Gabe won the championship, or did I win the championship? Yeah, I won the championship in 2022, and then Gabe won it here in 23. So it's been me and Gabe the last 3 years in a row in A-Gas. But that kind of tells a little bit about me. We've had a really good time with the Southeast Gassers. I'm glad to be a part of it. It's changed my whole life, and as it has many people that's never been there, never done it. They don't understand what I'm talking about when it's a life-changing experience, and it really is. So it's been really good to us.
Well, that is certainly good to hear. And look, I'm glad that you have this excitement in purchasing and moving forward with the Southeast Gassers Association. There are times people will make such a purchase and they almost do it reluctantly, and there's not that excitement and there's not that enthusiasm behind it. Let's move this forward, because the Southeast Gassers Association has got great momentum. Definitely, you keep it going. No telling where it might go and get to. What are some of your thoughts on where it has been and where you want it to go, along with your chats with everyone else in the Southeast Gassers world?
First of all, I'm a great faker about the excitement part. No, I'm just kidding. I'm really excited about everything. The PRI show was absolutely wonderful this year. I mean, the buzz is around it. It's we've got a lot of things coming. Won't be able to announce them until in January. Actually signed a TV deal yesterday with power2tv.com. They the host that has done, Pinks All Out, Pinks, Pastime, several different programs that they have out there, and I'm excited to be a part of their family too. And so I'm looking forward to big things coming from that already. Other than that, we're not going to try to make a whole lot of changes. I mean, the one biggest change that I know so far is the new owner is a whole lot better looking than the old owner. So that's definitely a plus. So that's one good change that's coming for sure. We're going to try to stay, the way that.
And he's back.
So anyway, but, Quayne has set up a good thing. It's done good for 12 years, and we're hoping to stay on his vision. But everybody says, "Oh, we hope it don't change. Hope it don't change." That's not possible, because if you hope it don't change, that means you're sitting still. So there's going to be change that's coming. There's not no drastic changes I'm going to be doing as far as rules and stuff like that. So we're just we're ready to get our first race under us, and get to moving forward, and looking for Quayne to be out there racing with us. And I've been talking to Quayne regularly, and he's excited, and I'm excited, and the buzz around has been pretty excited, and I'm excited to get through January and make some announcements and roll on with it.
Even though we can expect changes, we can expect movement forward, what are elements of the Southeast Gassers Association that will not change, that has allowed it to be unique and will keep it unique? What are the landmark pieces? What are the cornerstones? What are the foundational pieces that cannot be touched, or you will not touch, that will keep Southeast Gassers Association with a platform that is different?
Well, for one, the platform that Quayne's put together with the people that he's put in place, it will always be 4-speed, straight axle, old school, all pre-67 stuff, to as much as we can till it comes to safety. So I don't know that there's a whole lot going to change, but those key factors that has put it on the map is the 4-speed, the straight axle.
He'll be back.
We're back again. I'm sorry. Back again. And the cool cars, and the hand letter painting, just everything that goes along with it. And the biggest thing is the family atmosphere, the draw that it does. I hope that don't never change. That's what's got me involved in it, actually. So hopefully everything just moves right along.
And we wait momentarily.
I don't know what's going
on. And
on.
Moving right along, coming in and out here on the Between the Slicks. I almost said Competition Power Hour. I'm doing that one so many times. So Dwayne, it was doing it many times before. He'll pop out eventually.
Yeah.
Just give it a moment. See, right there. So very interesting issue, and we'll work through it. We will work through it. No worries. Leslie, what about you competitively? Can we expect you to stay in a car, or do you feel like you have got to get out from behind the wheel and do some driving elsewhere, if you will, with the new role with the Southeast Gassers Association?
I'm hoping that I can still compete in the car and be a front runner.
All right, hang on. All right. Hey. All right, Leslie.
Yeah.
Are you on your internet, or are you on your cell phone signal? Which one are you on?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
You want me to?
All right. This is what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen.
Take a break.
We're going to take a break. and we're going to let Leslie figure that out. If you are on your Wi-Fi, which you're on airplane mode, so you're on your Wi-Fi more likely, try your cell phone signal instead of your Wi-Fi. So we're going to kick the guest right now. Leslie's not here. He will be back. We'll try. Maybe it's a throttling issue with internet, and I think it's because he's on his iPhone. Actually, historically, the iPhone actually does have some issues with StreamYard. There's some firewall issues from time to time. That has occurred, but usually we get by this. This is a new problem that I have never faced, so we'll have to put this one in the bank and figure out what is going on, and hopefully Mr. Horne over there back in South Carolina, where I'm also from, even though I'm up here in Indiana currently, will get it figured out. Yes, quick draw. It's those solar flares. Well, thank you to each and every one of you watching so far. Hit that like button and hit the share button for me. And we will be back with Leslie in just a few moments. Again, I'm Lee Kraft, a.k.a. the Monday Morning Racer, host of Between the Slicks, host of Competition Plus Power Hour, and many other shows as well as working in the industry of drag racing, covering drag racing from Southeast Gassers Association to Funny Car Chaos, and working for places like McKinney Corp up here in Lafayette, Indiana. We're going to take a break, and we're going to let Leslie hop back in, hopefully in just a few moments. So hang with us, dive into the comment section, and we will be back. This word from Destroyer 1320. Listen carefully. I know many of you love your old hot rods, but you also love the new modern muscle cars. And in particular, if you've got a Chrysler product, he can protect your ride in a very simple way.
If you own a beautiful modern muscle car like this 1320 Challenger, I'm sure you don't want it stolen. Because the Challenger and many other modern vehicles have an easily accessible neutral release strap. That was your coin holder in your central console, and beneath that there's this red cord that someone can pop, put it into neutral, and potentially easily steal your car. But at Destroyer1320.com, they have the TDS, Theft Deterrent System, which is a cover over that strap using factory mounting points so that you don't get popped by a thief. So make sure to go to Destroyer1320.com using promo code MMR for 15% off and get your Theft Deterrent System TDS and steal the thieves' hope.
And now, Leslie. He's in here. Oh, there he is.
Hey, you got me?
I got you.
All right, I think we might be on something here, but I just hope nobody calls me. I turned it off of airplane mode. So
nobody call Leslie, all right? Send a text to everyone you know not to call.
Everybody's gonna call now.
Right. Well, let's pick this back up. You have you saw the Southeast Gassers Association. You had fun. You got in it. You're a competitor. You have been winning at it. You hope you can remain a competitor, but you realize what is ahead of you, that you might have to put a lot of focus on it to get it where it needs to go. What is that direction? What is the, one season vision, if you will, up to 5 years from now for the Southeast Gassers Association? What are the heights of SEGA?
Well, where I would like to see it go, and Quayne too, is we would like to see it take another step up. I think the TV stuff is one way in the right direction to get it moving forward. We'd just like to see it continue to grow. I mean, yes, we've had the race at Shadyside this past time was just absolutely, you couldn't even hardly stand, for the finals. And we'd like to carry on with that and just continue to see it grow. And I'm hoping in 5 years from now that it's so big that we can't even go to none of the little local tracks. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but I mean, I want it to be so big to where we can go fill up a Bristol dragway. That would be wonderful, to have something like that. But right now we're gonna stay steady in the boat, try not to rock it too much right off the get-go, but we do have a lot of stuff that we're working on. We're going to be working on social media stuff a good bit also. Hopefully people like you will keep helping us along too. So, but anyway, that's kind of where we're at right now. So.
Oh, well, certainly. I know Stephen in here mentioned during the break, he said, appreciate you, Lee. We missed you this year. I wasn't able to make a single Southeast Gassers Association race this year, and that was disappointing in many ways, yet with what I am doing in the drag racing world, that's just how it worked out. I need a crew. I need a team already out there and helping and assisting in coverage. But I know that I missed out on some great competition this year, 2023 in particular. You now, the new owner and promoter of the series, you look at it in retrospect. Your thoughts on what was 2023, your champions, the racing, the venues, the attendance. Give us the rundown.
Well, 2023 was a pretty good season also for the Southeast Gassers. We did have rain we had to deal with. That's one of our main issues that seems to follow us around. I make a joke all the time, tell them if they want to plant a garden, just look and see when we're coming. They should plant it because it's going to rain. But we still had a really good race season. The competition was as close in about every class. Me and Gabe went back and forth. Well, I don't know if we really went back and forth. Gabe really got ahead of me there about mid-season, and then he run into a little bit of bad luck and let me catch back up with him. And so I think when we went into the finals there at Shadyside, I think we was tied. I'm pretty sure we was tied. And he come out there in the second round, and he was ready, and I wasn't feeling too good, and I wasn't ready, and he was a whole lot better man and better driver and better car that day. So that's what it boils down to, and he's done a great job. And Gabe is always tough, and he has paid his dues. He has worked on that Ford, and he has got it flying, and he's done a great job. So that's kind of the A-gas side of it. You know, I know all the rest of them. I mean, we had C-gas, this year go into the fives. That's kind of crazy that they're going that fast. So everybody is getting faster and faster and faster, and it's getting tougher and tougher. But anyway, we still hope that me and Gabe can go out there and get after it this coming season. I'm looking forward to getting back. I've already missed and hitting some gears. I'm ready to go, do a burnout or something in the street now, but I'm just ready to get back at it.
Jackie mentions about some of the original participants within the Southeast Gassers Association, Night Stalker, Snakebite, names such as that. And it's not a secret that there were issues and there were people that disagreed, and they were saying, hey, we're going to go do something else. And you've got SEGA doing what it has been doing and moving and progressing forward. Any extending of an olive branch, if you will, to bring some of those people back into the fold?
I've done extended a whole tree, not just an olive branch. Last Thursday, I went over and had a great time with Boogeyman, Night Stalker, Snakebite. They would end up being like, I think 24 of us over there, and we had a really good time. Yeah, there's going to be disagreements everywhere you go, but at the end of the day, it's really black and white. It's cut and dry. Draw your square box on a paper, put your circle in the middle. That's where it's going to have to be. And if you don't have no rules, you don't have no racing, the way I look at it. So the rules are in place. Quain's worked hard on them rules over the years, and I know a lot of people think, well, why would he do this or why would he do that? But I promise you, everything's been done. There's a reason why it's been done. So yes, I've extended. Yes, I've talked to him, and yes, I've talked to Greg many a times. Greg's a Night Stalker, as most of you know. I've talked to him many a times through the year. Had a good time with him at PRI, and did last year. So anyway, I'd love to see them guys come on back if they could. I don't know why in the world they wouldn't. I was giving Greg a hard time the other day. Maybe when he wakes up, he thinks he's a little young teenager, but then when he looks in that mirror, he sees what everybody else does. He ain't getting no younger. So he needs to get that car ready and come on out there. And I tell him the only reason why he won't come, he's scared of that chick magnet. That's all it is. So But anyway, hopefully him and Jimmy will come out there. And Jimmy Finley, he's fast already. I mean, I don't know why he's not out there. So hopefully the boys will come back and join us. We'll see. We're gonna keep working on them, and I'm ready to get rolling. And and I hope that Quain's gonna get him a new car put together and come out there. Because I know he's tired of getting beat up driving that little Kermit the Frog car, that little slow car. And so I know he's tired of being a back filler back there in the back. So hopefully he can get something put together and come on out there and run with us.
Now, Leslie, as the new owner and promoter of Southeast Gassers Association, I mean, come on, man. It's unbecoming to have such trash talk.
Yeah, well, I can't help it. It's just the race to come out. I mean, the owner promoter just left me there for a second. I'm trying to reel it back in now. Okay, here we go. Let's go.
Well, what about the brass tacks of it all? What can the racers expect to see change concerning, well, with their participation, getting what they earn through such participation? Like, I know, for example, Funny Car Chaos. If you show up to a Funny Car Chaos race and you qualify, you have probably made your money back for what you spent to get there, at least. That type of scenario and situation. What are you looking at to benefact your racers in SEGA now?
I'm gonna get back with you on that. I don't want to really say a whole lot right now until after January of kind of the things that's going on. We are working on some stuff, and yes, things in that department will be different than what they are. It's just the facts of it, And like I say, we'll have to have another show a little later on stuff like that, Lee.
Hey, nothing wrong. Hey, you're working on it. Nothing wrong with stating that. And hey, we got to keep working on it. We'll have something later. Live Drag Racing on the Facebook side of things does ask, will you be doing any live streams this season? I know you just mentioned a TV deal earlier in the show, so reiterate that. And what else will that entail?
Well, the PowerTube TV, believe it or not, is free. It's free to everybody to go in and sign up. So I think all of y'all go sign up right now. It's Watch PowerTube TV, and then it's pttv.com too. So yes, we're going to do some live. We're also going to do some live and then a little delay posting. But yes, they will be some live. I don't know exactly how many will be live, and I don't know the 100% that they'll be live right to the minute. They may be a couple hours behind, maybe a week behind. So that's something we're still talking about. We're still talking about, how many camera guys is coming, how many crew members is coming to do it. So we still got a lot of stuff that we're hashing out. Everything takes time. Everything costs a little money. So we have to work. And we have to work towards that. I mean, that's all I can say on that right now. And I do not know all of the details on that to answer his question, exactly how many and what and when and where. But I will tell you, we are working on it vigorously to get some help there in that department, and also to get some help there for the people that used to watch it live when we had it before. There's still going to be some live. I know Steven's going to try to do a little bit. I'd love to see the top end interviews come back. I'd love to see some pit interviews come in. There's a lot of stuff that we've got in the works. And we're taking phone calls daily, and we're staying on the phone daily, even though, this was supposed to be Randy and Rocky was going to do all this stuff, and Leslie wouldn't have to do nothing. Yeah, that didn't work, but about, 20 minutes, I guess. But anyway, I'm excited about it. I'm excited on what's coming. Yes, there will be some changes, and yes, I know that you can't make everybody happy. And yes, just hope that you hang in there with me and give us a chance, and we'll see how it looks on the other end.
AFX, what is happening there? That's a class that I have been hoping to see that it would be at full song, and I just don't feel like it's quite got there as of yet. I know that there are certainly competitors that are working towards that. Can we expect in 2024 for them to take another step within SEGA itself?
We're hoping that there's some more come out and does do the AFX. Sam Gabriel is one of my tech guys now, and he was one that had the FX car also. And so we still got Rob Heffley. I mean, there's several of them out there that's working on them. And I've heard there's a couple more coming, but I know that Sam and Robert knows more about that than I do.
The 2024 schedule. What is it that you like about it? What is it that you do not like about it?
The 2024 schedule, Quayne and the crew had worked hard on that before all this ever took place. There was only one race left, and it was the first race. Everything looks good to me. Most of the tracks that's on there we've been to before. I'm excited about getting it started and getting it rolling and going on with that. So, yeah, everything – we're still going to Gulfport. Larry Cummins and them boys down there, Brett and all of them there have been doing a ton of promoting for us and helping us a lot. That's going to be a pretty good ride for a lot of us. And then we're going back to Ohio again. I think this is going to be the fourth year, I think. And I've won the last 3 in a row. I'd like to make it 4 in a row if I could there. That'd be great. But anyway, that's the 2 furthest one this year. We do have a couple of locals. We've got the Shady Side and finals, and then we got the Shady Side the second race. We're going to Knoxville a couple of times. We're going to Mooresville this year. So there's some. We also going to Union. We hadn't been to Union in many years before my time. They went down there and done some stuff with Still in Motion. We're going to Union this year. I'm kind of excited about going to Union. I like going to Union to watch racing. The track's wide and nice. There's plenty of parking. I'm excited about that one. So there's a lot of exciting things coming. A lot of first times is coming. There's going to be a lot of first times for me on a lot of stuff. So just bear with me. We're going to work on it. We're going to get there. And, I've had a lot of positive from the racers. I've had a lot of support. I've had a lot of people calling me, telling me they're ready. Let's do this, But at the end of the day, it's going to be different without Quayne. That's all we've ever known was Quayne. We've known his ways. We know how queer he is. He's the one that's done it. He's the one that's enforced some of these rules when other people wouldn't. And I'm just hoping that people will still hang in there, and we are going to enforce the rules, and we are going to tighten up on them a little bit. And we're going to go back and look at the cars. Some of the stuff has got lax over the end, over the past few years, some of the gauges ain't exactly right. Some of the shifters ain't exactly right, like your ends, your brake line ends and stuff, that stuff, if it's blue, it needs to be painted, and I'm guilty of it. I got one on my car. I'm going to look at my car, and I'm going to try to make sure that it's as period correct looking as it can be. Also, I'm a little concerned about safety on some of these cars. I'm going to be looking at a little bit of that stuff, so anyways, it's just a lot of stuff that we've got in the pipe that we're working on. And I think with Randy and Rocky and all the rest of the crew that's there, I mean, there's, as far as I know, just about everybody is coming back. So I think it'll be fine. I know we're all going to miss Quayne. I know I am, so anyway, we'll see how it goes.
The formula that Quayne established is certainly proven. Who would have thought that nostalgia drag racing, the way in which he's doing it, would be successful? But it certainly has been. And it's good to hear that there is a doubling down on some of the elements to move into the future, because that's what made SEGA unique. Is it did have this and does have this very strict rule bank. It's fascinating to me that 2 of the strongest independent outlaw forms of drag racing, if you will, out there are on opposite ends of the spectrum. You've got the Chaos brand with Chris Graves that is basically no rules, just show up, be safe, and run your funny car. And then you've got Southeast Gassers Association with, here's the strict rules, and we're going to basically reenact drag racing in 1967, and they're both successful. So You've got a challenge ahead of you to continue to move Sega forward and maintain what has been, but still find a way. And even though it's nostalgia drag racing, people want to partner with Sega, and that's fascinating. You would think in this day and time that people wouldn't want to do that, but you mentioned PRI was successful and already signing a TV deal. Why is it that people look at Sega and they see it as a brand worth partnering with?
It's pretty easy, Lee. I mean, everybody can relate to a 4-speed, straight axle, old car. I mean, it's hard to relate to some of this modern stuff that's out there, but a guy can walk up and look at my 55. My 55's got a stock 55 chassis under it, from the firewall back, and they can relate with that. And they can say, "Hey, we can build this," and they can. If you'll come and look at our cars, they are pretty simple. And I think that was where Quayne really excelled in this thing is everybody can relate to what we're doing. Everybody can relate with a gear shifter. Everybody can relate with a clutch, and it's naturally aspirated, it's just so simple. I mean, like when my car was at PRI last year, I mean, you would be stunned at the people that sat there and looked at that thing and couldn't believe the numbers it is, because you're talking about a low 8-second quarter-mile car, and you look at that thing and you're like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be in that or not at that. But anyway, I think it's because everybody can relate. And then the other side of it was too, is it was like a family when you go in. If you bring your family, you bring your daughter, you bring your son, they can go up and they can talk to all of us. They can sit in the cars. Everybody takes time for the kids. It's a good atmosphere. When you go, you want to go and stay Friday night and, go talk to everybody, eat the eats, drink the drinks, and just, it's like a family affair. And that's what Quayne has put together. And the relationships that Quayne has made in the last 12 years, you probably can't even count them. I mean, it would be staggering. I mean, because I wouldn't even know you, Lee, and look at that. I mean, look at what a blessing I've been to you. I mean, you wouldn't even got to meet me if it hadn't been for Sega. So anyway, I just think it's because everybody can relate with it.
He's got a way of always turning it back positively on himself. I'll give Mr. Horne that for sure. But he certainly doesn't have a good head of hair.
Yeah.
Now, Leslie, you mentioned about those partnerships and creating those partnerships. Well, you look at the racers. The racers are partners in all of this as well. And I know you've got desires for them to have a better partnership within the Southeast Gassers Association. We've had some people chiming in. Speaking of HGAS, HGAS is a rising class in popularity, and they're saying, hey, big news. Whoa, what big news are they talking about? Can you share anything concerning HGAS?
I can't on that, Lee. I don't know a whole lot about the HGAS. We hadn't looked at that much. I think Todd is working on that some. So hopefully we'll have some news on that. I know that Larry Noel's getting close on his car. We're looking forward for him being back racing out there with us. I know it's a pretty cool class, but once you get past A, B, and C, I don't know a whole lot about the newer classes that's coming. So something I got to brush up on, but hopefully we got people in place that does know and can help guide that along.
You talk about new classes. How much more room is there actually? I mean, there's not a lack of car counts at a Southeast Gassers Association race. Just about every one of them.
Yeah, there has been good car counts. And also now we have the consolation race, which is if you go out in the first round, you get put back in. You have a little consolation race for a little bit of money, and that's usually sponsored by somebody. And it helps somebody that goes out in the first round. That's been a pretty big hit. Also want to continue. I know I'm getting sidetracked here, but also going to continue with turning the scoreboards on in the finals. I think that was a real big hit that Quayne come up with this year. I think a lot of people really like that. I think a lot of people were stunned when they seen some of those numbers, but anyway, But that's it. I forgot the question.
I know. Oh, you're fine, You're fine. Now, yeah, I like that idea, and I do like one. I was fine with just win light. Didn't bother me at all. But I was surprised how many people it did bother. I've got Southeast Gassers Association content on my channel, and I routinely had to explain why the scoreboard's not on. Why is it just a win light? So that surprised me that there are those people out there that, well, frankly, as a drag racing fan, apparently they need the numbers. I don't need the numbers. A win light's fine by me. The drag racing in of itself is entertainment and it is exciting. But to do it in the finals is a great in between. It's a great compromise that the two top dogs per class, they're showcasing how bad to the bone they are.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too, Lee. By not posting the numbers during the race, it may not be the top dogs. You don't know what that person that's got lucky and got through a couple rounds. You don't know what they run. So that, I think that was the stuff that was behind it. And I'm trying to explain it the best I can. Probably not doing a good job, but it keeps your anticipation there. It keeps you there wanting to see, hey, we get to that final, we're going to get to see what these numbers, these cars is doing. And if, someone that is a little slower happen to get there, you're not going to say, oh, well, we know who's going to win this one. Because you don't know. I mean, actually, you might know if you follow the website, internet and stuff. But if you're new to it, you're not really going to know who is the fastest one there until the finals. So I think that's the reason behind it. And I think that is genius on Quain's part. I mean, I think that was, like I say, there's not too much that Quain has done that there is not some type of a reason behind what he's done. So take it at that. I've talked to him at length before and during. We talked all through this year before we got to Thanksgiving. So about everything that's there, he's tried and done it. So he's got me a good platform laid out. I want to take the platform to the next level. He wants it to go to the next level. He knows it was time for a change. He knows that there was some things that he could have done along the way. He's talked to me about that might could have put it in a different trajectory. But also Quain has got Quain's life. And Quain, without going too much details, he's ready to live his life a little bit. He's been through some stuff in the last few years. And so I'm happy for Quain. I'm hoping that he can relax a little bit now. I'm hoping he can enjoy a little bit of time now, and I hope that he can enjoy and come and race and not have to worry about the headaches that he has thrown on my head and my back now. Thank you for that, Quain. But that's about where it's at. I mean, it's just I'm happy. I'm happy for Quain. I'm happy that he trusted me enough to even let me do this. And we had talked several times, and you might have even known about that, Lee. We talked several times through the year, and it's, I didn't want to, but then when it come down to it and we got to talking, I can't remember if I went to bed, hit my head and woke up or what. All I know is the next thing I knew that I was the owner of Southeast Gassers, and I'm just looking forward to moving forward and looking forward to all these new partnerships that we are forming and the phone calls that are coming in from vendors. I mean, it's really staggering, to be honest with you. So I'm really looking for a big year in 2024. I'm not one of those that's going to have an expectation that is so crazy that you can't reach, but I think we're going to have a really great year in 2024. And I think if all the racers are hanging there with us and work as a team with us, because that's what we all are. We're a team. It ain't no me, or I. It's a team that's trying to run this now. And nobody's no more important than any of the rest of them. That goes for the fans. That goes for the racers. That goes for everybody there. You got to have all of them. You got to have a team to put on the show. And that's what we're doing. This was a show. When it started with Quain, it was a show. But what happened is turned into a drag race now. So anyway, we gotta work as a team to move this show drag race forward and to keep it going to where people like me can come in and enjoy some time with their car, drag racing, meeting folks that they would have never met before. I mean, kids when I started, was little bitty kids, and now they're done grown, I mean, the relationships that has been made from this, and I said it earlier, I mean, the kids that's got married and moved on, I mean, Quayne could probably have a whole list of them. I mean, it's amazing at what this does, and it's being done with old school drag racing. It's going back to the roots, old school, and like I said, Lee, everybody can relate to that. Everybody can't relate with screw blowers and pulling up there and hitting a button, closing your eyes for 3 seconds, and waking up and saying, "Oh, well, I just rode down the road in a roller coaster. Oh, look at there! I went 3 seconds." So, a lot of people can't relate to that. And this is a driver sport. I mean, you got to drive these cars. I mean, these cars don't drive for you. I mean, this ain't no Tesla. This is more of a tussle, not a Tesla. It's a tussle to get down the track with these things. So that's the part I think that's the draw. I know I got off on a rant there on you, but anyway, here we go.
No, that is fine. And do want to take some time because I'm not shocked. It tends to bring up both sides of the argument when you talk about the scoreboards. Again, I have seen it so many times in my own comment section on the Monday Morning Racer YouTube channel. Why don't they have the scoreboards? Folks, look, the win light, yes, it matters. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But you've got a great compromise with having the scoreboards on in the final. And folks, sometimes compromise moves everything forward. It does. I think that's a good move. And let me just say this about win light matters and scoreboards and timing. Well, remember, timing in drag racing has always been important because there's roots in hot rodding to what? Salt flats, to the beaches at Daytona. And what were they doing? They were on clocks. All right? So always remember that. And we don't argue over win lights, but we do argue over who was first to 200. We don't remember all of Kenny Bernstein's wins, but we know he was the first man to 300. And by the way, I don't remember Dad mentioning all his wins, but he would routinely say at one time that him and Gene Cromer, because my dad's Melvin Kraft, had the fastest Willis at one time. So, time and speed in drag racing is important. And I think that's why some people, when they see SEGA for the first time, they're like, huh? Why are there no scoreboards when you're at a track that has them? I think it's a good compromise, and that's the point I'm getting at. And I think when looking forward, certain areas to compromise on, that's not bad for the growth of the total package. That's certain areas. And I think that is something that you're thinking, you've got the ideas on, and you're moving forward with. Now, GMO 1515 brought up something. I think it's an interesting point. Simulating a flagger instead of a pro tree, instant green, a flash. Any talk amongst the competitors of something like that?
No, that's not something that any of them has mentioned to me. However, I do know when Quayne and them started to begin with, they did have that for a while, that they just had somebody to flag them off. I don't know. Don't never say never, but I like the pro tree pretty good. So, and it's instant go. I mean, so it's about as close as you can get to a flag dropping. So I don't know. We'll just have to give that some thought.
Okay. Give us a thought. That'd be interesting. Yeah, we don't need a flagger out there again though. I can't imagine the people who decided to stand out there and flag and like, look, I love back of the track, no prep drag racing, but there are elements of that drag racing that I think to myself, I'm like, guys, we already figured this out in 1960 something. Y'all are trying to go back and redo it in the modern day. Like we have figured this out. It is okay.
Yeah, I would be a little nervous with a flag out there myself, with like little varmint or either, Kermit, either one, trying to get down the track. That would make you jump back in a heartbeat because some of these cars are very exciting when they leave.
For sure, for sure. Well, look, the future of the Southeast Gassers Association is bright, and there's no telling what partnerships can be formed and can be had. Now, I'm going to put this out. We've talked about it, but I just want it out. I want it out there publicly because I'm going to stir because I've talked with you. I've talked with another party, and I want to see it happen because if it ever happens, it is the two greatest brands of drag racing outside the NHRA, in my opinion, coming together. Do you think we could ever see this coming from the SEGA man? A Funny Car Chaos Southeast Gassers Association partnership somewhere for drag racing and the drag racing fan?
I don't know, Lee. I think that's two totally different things there, and I just don't know how that would work. But never say never. That's all I can say. But I think that's entirely two different forms to me. But no rules versus a bunch of rules. You know how that can go. I mean, we got rules. They say, how come you don't go run other gasser events? Well, I mean, if you racing a gasser that has no rules versus one with no rules, and you get outrun, what's happened? Nothing. You outrun them. What have you done? You can just brag a little bit, but it's just hard when we got cars that's specifically built for our rules. It is hard to get outside of the box and go run with any of the rest of the guys. As much as I would like to go support some of these folks and stuff, not saying that we don't support them. There's a lot of them that we do. It's just hard to take a car that is purposely built to SEGA strict rules that Quayne has put in place and go pull up beside, a pro mod. It just don't make no sense. Could we take our cars and pull up beside, some of the fastest bracket cars there are? Yeah, we probably could. We'd probably be fine. But it just wouldn't make no sense to me. But I don't know. Never say never.
All right. I like that. Never say never. Yes. Don't say never. We're going to work on that. We're going to get that done. I'm going to give you this question, your last question for the night. Thank you for your time, Mr. Horne, now new owner promoter of the Southeast Gassers Association, the man of all the headaches in nostalgia drag racing. I'm going to give you this question, and then we're going to take a break. We're going to give you some time to formulate the answer. I know you're going to need it.
Man, this must be a big question.
It's a big question. It's a big question. I'm going to give it to you. We're going to take a break. We'll come right back. Here is the question. When and what will it look like for Leslie Horne getting the Southeast Gassers Association to where he would like it, that he might very well do the same thing that a Quayne Stott has done and pass it on to the next individual? What does it look like? When would you know it? Right after the break.
Power-Built Tools exemplifies innovation in the tool industry. From hand tools, power tools, and even tool storage. Check out powerbuilt.com for Power-Built Tools. And remember, use promo code MMR15 for 15% off at purchase.
Okay, that was a pretty big question, but the way I look at that, Lee, if you're doing something that you thoroughly enjoy, I mean, I hadn't even looked that far to even think that I would want to do that. I mean, as long as I'm enjoying it, as long as my fellow racers are enjoying it, as long as we have the support to where we can go do this, that's not even really crossed my mind at this time. Can I put a number on it and say 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? I don't know. If it's 10 years from now and we're all still going good and, we're still having fun, and that's what it's about. You can't put a number, a price on time. You can't put a number price on fun that you have. I mean, I hadn't even thought about that, Lee. Wouldn't even consider. If somebody called me today and said, "Hey, I'm gonna give you X," it's not for sale. I mean, I'm doing this for the love of the sport. I'm doing this to try to carry on Quain's legacy of what he has done. I'm doing this because I enjoy it. I'm doing this because I enjoy the fans. I'm doing this because I enjoy the racers. I enjoy every aspect of it, and that's why I'm doing it. Now, if it gets to a point that I don't enjoy it, which is, Quain, I'm not trying to put nothing in his mouth, but it got to where it was overbearing for Quain. So if I was ever get to that point, I might would consider it. But right now, the way things is looking and as much positivity as I'm getting, it gives me another bounce in my step to move forward. And coming out of the PRI show, I was on cloud nine at some of the stuff that's coming, and I can't wait to where we can talk about it and everything is finalized. I think a lot of people's going to be excited. I think a lot of people's going to be shocked. So we've got a lot of stuff going. And to answer the question, and I'm going on a run here, Lee, at this point, that's nothing that I'm even thought about. I just don't. It would have to get so big that I did not have enough knowledge and know-how to keep going with it, to move it forward. And somebody would have to come in that was big, that knew a whole lot more than old redneck selling real estate. And that's just, I hadn't even thought about it, to be honest with you. It's not even in the horizon that I can see.
All right. Well, Leslie, thank you for your time tonight. I certainly do believe that the Southeast Gassers Association is in good hands, and you still got good people that are in the program, that have been with the program, and it has got a bright future ahead of it. We'll take one more question, and that was, let me find it earlier. Okay, so SEGA short temper, 1930 Model A.
Oh yeah,
such a great little car. They're a great team out there.
I talked to him this week, and that's one of my favorite little cars. His and the Willis of Rob Walden is two of my favorite cars out there. And I talked to him earlier this week, and I'm looking forward, hoping he comes back, hangs out with us, and brings his family and Sherry and all of them. Sherry does a great job as a backup girl, and I have a good time with them boys. They always give me a hard time when we line up with each other. I think it's his brother would always say whenever we fix to line up, he said, "Well, I'm going to go ahead and start cooking the hamburgers. We'll be back over here. Our day's over with." So I had a good time with those boys, and I thoroughly hope that they come back and have fun with us.
So he is asking about first round lineup, looking more like a sportsman lineup instead of a pro lineup. Any thoughts on that in the future?
No, I don't see nothing like that.
Okay. All right. And look, I think in many ways, what we've heard tonight bodes well for SEGA, because you're sticking to what has worked, but there have been compromises where it does not hurt and affect the core essence of what Southeast Gassers Association is.
Exactly.
Don't turn into NHRA Pro Stock.
No, you ain't got to worry about that. For one, I don't even hardly know what that is.
Well, it's a class that has lost its essence on what it was intended to be, and may Factory X live long. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Well, Leslie, look, thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Always good to chat with you. Always good to have you on the show. Hopefully, see you in 2024 at a Southeast Gassers race.
I hope so, Lee. Y'all come out. Thank you for everything that y'all do for us. We appreciate it. Let's go, team. Come on. Let's come together. Let's do this thing. Let's blow it up in 2024 and have a great time. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing everybody. See y'all.
Boom. That was Leslie Horne, the new owner and promoter of the Southeast Gassers Association and competitor as well in the Southeast Gassers Association. It is great to have each and every one of you. Thank you for stopping by. Hit that like button for me. Hit the share button. Between the Slicks will air next week as well. Make sure you are subscribed to Monday Morning Racer on YouTube, and you're following on Instagram and X as well as Facebook. for information on Southeast Gassers Association and beyond in the world of drag racing. Next week, the plan is to pick back up with the top alcohol coverage that I have been doing in 2023. I'm going to continue that into 2024, and we'll speak with another individual that finished in the top 5 of points in the world competing in the National Hot Rod Association in either top alcohol dragster or top alcohol funny car, or maybe even both. And we'll have more drag racing news as well. This show was brought to you by McKinney Corp. Murph McKinney and team, thank you for what you've done for me, and it's such a privilege and an honor to be able to work for McKinney Corp and go into that facility and to see all the great things they're doing in drag racing and beyond. If you've got a drag car and you need to find a solution, McKinney Corp certainly has it. Give the team in Lafayette, Indiana at McKinney Corp a call. I'm Lee Kraft, the Monday Morning Racer. To everyone, God bless and keep the pedal to the metal. Have a Merry Christmas.
McKinney Motorsports is your #1 source for all your chassis needs. McKinney Motorsports is the leading chassis parts supplier and fabricator in nitro drag racing. From custom tanks and fittings, full chassis builds, body mounts, steering components, fasteners, tabs, clamps, composite parts, and much more. Our household name in the racing world guarantees added performance on the track. Join our list of proven winners that spans over 50 years of racing experience.